Don Sweeney has provided us with so much information today for everything regarding what is going to happen with our 3 new goaltenders, as well as why the trade for Linus Ullmark was the return that it was, and why it was a bit lackluster compared to what we were thinking we would potentially get. I'm going to talk about that, as well as some stuff about the draft. Now that the Boston Bruins have a first-round pick, we need to start thinking, as we're less than 24 hours away from the draft, we need to get some predictions on who is going to be going for the Boston Bruins. And today, I have a few players from an article that revealed the best fits in their position. So I'm going to talk about, like I said, all of that stuff here in this video. Before we do, though, we know that 75% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. That number is slowly going down, and that's a very good sign. So if we can hit this, if you guys hit the sub button, join us here on this channel. We cover everything that the Boston Bruins have to offer, and we're very close to 3K, so if we can hit that, that would mean the world to me. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into our first topic here, which is the top Bruins draft targets that we're going to see around the 25th overall pick, which the Bruins acquired in the trade for Linus Ullmark, which was really the best asset we got from that trade, and one that the Bruins are going to have to take their time with, and either what I would say is trade the pick, which I don't think will happen, or make a very educated pick is what they need to do. They need to make sure this is going to be the right player with not having another pick until the 4th round. They need to be sure of who they get, and they may even reach for a player that they might think is right. So I'm going to start off with our first player here, which is Cole Beaudoin, the first player on this little article. I believe this is from the Boston Globe, from Conor Ryan. And it goes on to say, if the Bruins prioritize a center with a safe floor as a middle 6 contributor, Beaudoin might be their best bet. The 18-year-old left shot already boasts a pro-ready frame at 6'2", 209. Size he uses to win puck battles, create havoc down low, and pressure opposing puck carriers. Beaudoin named the Eastern Conference hardest worker, top penalty killer, and second best defensive forward in the OHL's year-end coaching poll, had 28 goals in 62 games, or 62 points, in 67 games last season. He could develop into a dependable two-way stalwart in a short order, which is very much in the books of what we need right now for the Boston Bruins. We know that Patrice Bergeron's skill set is no longer on this team. They really don't have that bona fide defensive center, and we need a center. We need some more defense on the offensive side of the puck, and this could be a great pick, which I've seen a lot of places where he could go up as high as 15, but we know there's going to be a very crazy draft after, 1, 2, and 3, I guess we could say. So we have to think the Bruins might go what is going to be the best fit rather than the best player available. And I know that's not really all the favorite of what we want to see most of the times, but for this case right now, with the pick the Bruins have, how many picks they have, I think this is going to be the right option. Whether it is Beaudoin, I mentioned Dean Letourneau in last last video, whenever that was. And we have another one here that was also in this article. I do apologize, wrong button there, but Sacha Boisvert from the USHL. Much like Beaudoin, Boisvert projects a prospect whose floor is as a capable NHLer. It's easy to map out given his size. Also 6'2", 183 though, however, and a well-rounded game. His sharper shot was put to good use. 36 tallies over 61 games, but the North Dakota commit also received high marks for his hockey IQ and two-way game. Another center on the books, and really this is what I'm thinking the Bruins are going to go after. They're going to see if they can try and find an NHL-ready center that could have an immediate impact, if needed, on this Bruins team. Another idea of getting that kind of star number 1 center they're going to look for in this offseason, and then also getting some depth pieces that they can add for, just in case we see an injury, some people that can maybe slot into this lineup right away. We know that a few of those players who've been kind of bordering the AHL-NHL line will likely make the NHL roster next season, so it don't hurt to have more players like this. So of these 3 players, that I mentioned, as well as Letourneau and those 2, we may see a pretty good split of, dependency on each of their roles, and each player really having that capability of filling in on this team. So I don't think the Bruins are going to go a small player. I really don't. I think it's going to be, like these 2 guys, 6'2", pretty heavy as well. And Dean Letourneau, who we know is 6'7", very good centerman as well, and also an incredible stat line this season. So I really think it's going to be something along the lines of that. I don't have a mock draft here now, but I'll have a video tomorrow again before, and kind of breaking down what we're going to expect if we get any more news on that. But let's head over to our second topic of this video, which is Don Sweeney has discussed I would say the goalie problem, and I wouldn't say it's really a problem. It's a good problem to have. But the situation we're in with three goalies, and three goalies who will be going on waivers if they end up going down. We know that Jeremy Swayman is not going to be in that boat, but still is, on waivers if he does. For some crazy reason, I'm not even going to mention it goes down to the AHL. But let's move on to what Don Sweeney had to say. And he says this about Brandon Bussi. He's paid his duties. He wants an opportunity in the NHL. If he beats out, in this case, in all likelihood, Joonas Korpisalo, then we'll have to give him the opportunity. So it does seem like Don Sweeney is really willing to give Brandon Bussi the opportunity in the NHL now, without even really playing or having that much experience. He seems like he's willing to give him that AHL or the NHL backup story, but also having that consideration that he could be continuing to be an NHL starter. And as for Joonas Korpisalo, I think we acknowledge that he's there kind of just to get rid of some cap for Ottawa. We kind of took him because we had to. We really didn't have to, I guess we could say. We didn't want him, don't need him in that situation, but he is a backup in case we don't go with Brandon Bussi. In case Brandon Bussi doesn't play great in the preseason and whatnot, he's a backup option that is going to be viable for then. But we'll have to see really until the beginning of the season what happens in that case. I really don't think we're going to see too much of that in the offseason, but it is something to keep an eye on, whether or not we flip Korpisalo or not, or what happens there. It's really just going to be a matter of time until we see what is going to be the case for Brandon Bussi, AHL or NHL. But let's move on to what he also had to say here about Jeremy Swayman's new contract situation. It's a priority for us to continue to have discussions necessary to get Jeremy under contract. I do apologize for that. We'll continue to do that, and we've been doing that, and we're hopeful that we'll find it due in its due course, because that's the priority. And Don Sweeney himself said it there. We've known that's the main priority that we needed to see this offseason. The Boston Bruins go and get Jeremy Swayman signed. That was really the dependency on the Ullmark trade. Now that he is gone, we know this contract is coming. We know this is going to be a long-term contract. We know it's going to be an expensive contract, but they're going forward with Jeremy Swayman. This is their priority in this offseason, along with the number one center, but this is the number one priority. You can't mess this up, and you need this to go well for both sides, but it needs to be in favor of the team as well. So, once again, another thing I'm going to keep you guys updated on when we get some more news about it, but that's all that Don Sweeney had to say about this little topic here in this media availability, where all this stuff is coming from. But let's move on to our final topic here, which is the real reason for the lackluster trade return. And we know that this was not the most ideal return for the Boston Bruins in this trade for Linus Ullmark, but Don Sweeney had to say some pretty interesting things about Mark Kastelic in the same media availability about what his role is going to be on this Boston Bruins team. So this is from Joe Poroiles. I do apologize. I definitely pronounced that name horribly wrong. But Sweeney on the new Bruins forward, Mark Kastelic, we're happy to add another right shot. Well above 50% in the faceoffs, 56.3 on his career, which was a major issue for the Bruins. I would say a big part of this season was really a big faceoff issue. And then he also goes on to say, you can always use that. He's played both center and the wing, probably toggles pretty well with Beecher in that case, which could be an interesting combo there, along with Brazeau. I'm seeing some people say, I believe it was the reply to that tweet, and I think that would be a pretty interesting line. But Sweeney also said that they're working Kastelic into the PK role. I think it's important that those players continue to grow in that regard. Brings an element of toughness that we value, and he's really excited to be a Boston Bruin. So, seems like Mark Kastelic is starting this one out on the right foot. Definitely not the player that we thought would be getting in this trade. Kind of seems like, as you know, the stats don't really show that he's super talented in any any manner like that. But the role that he's going to be on this Boston Bruins team, 6'4", good faceoffs, good defense. It's really a thing that the Bruins need. He's kind of going to be that James Van Riemsdyk, I'm assuming, for this upcoming season, but a better, more important role than what James Van Riemsdyk played on this team now. So let me know what you think about what Don Sweeney had to say here. A lot of interesting stuff, some stuff that people were not happy with from some of these replies, but let me know also what you think about these prospects, as well as Dean Latourneau, who you want to see the Bruins draft at 25 or 25th overall, tomorrow night. I'm going to keep you guys updated with all of this stuff. A lot of big things coming. I'm very excited to see who the Bruins draft, but like I said, I'll have another video up before the draft, kind of going over what we're going to see, expecting if we get any more news tomorrow, which I do expect, but I can't confirm anything. I'll also have a video here tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, likely before that. But that's all I got here in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. But I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.